Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Heather. I'm a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner. And how are you? How are you hanging in there through all of this chaotic energy? It's wild out there. I feel like we've known that this time was coming. We've felt it. It's been approaching for a while, but things are really starting to ramp up out there and the energy is very intense. I know those of us who are sensitive, I'm not as sensitive to energy as most, but I will tell you, my energy sensitivity has definitely ramped up over the last probably year. I definitely feel more of the collective energy than ever. So I know so many of you are extremely sensitive to energy, and I hope you are taking good care of yourself as a lot of this collective fear energy rises to the surface to be cleared and released. Feels like we're watching the split happen in real time. And maybe you are not watching any of this, and that's great. I'm not either. I see little tidbits of things here and there and just try to stay in my light. So that's the best thing that you can do as these events are unfolding out there. But I wanted to hop on and do a video because I have been working over the last few months on revamping the Quantum Soul Portal. And right now, I am so proud of it, and the things that we've sort of shifted into doing. And I wanted to share some of that with you and why I have brought some of these new things in. One in particular that I want to talk about, and that is my field command library. Now, I know that doesn't sound fancy, but let me tell you, it is very powerful. And I'm so excited to share more about it with you. So 2 weeks ago, I did a two-part series, Advanced Multidimensional Healing, I think is what I called it. And I was talking about working within your soul field or your field of consciousness. And this has become something that I have been working with. Well, I've only been working with this for over the last year, working with my guides to understand how to work within the quantum field of our reality, but also within the quantum field of our physicality. But doing hypnosis for the last 6 years and working with clients who come to me for deep healing. They come because they're having physical issues, health issues, mental issues, emotional issues. They're stuck. They can't move forward. They don't know what to do. The mental mind is looping, and they can't get out of the mind. And there's a variety of reasons why they're going through that. When we get into the session, we do our best as a hypnosis practitioner to try and locate what's going on, where it's coming from. Is it something that's attached to you? Is it something from a past life? Is it an emotional blockage? Is it a created thought form? Is it something that's been implanted into your field? There's so much going on within the energetic parts of our physical beingness. And so, what I have dealt with, and I know many other practitioners do as well, is wanting so badly to help my clients get as clear as I possibly can in their session. When a client comes in and they want all the things done, and I'm like, I want to help you with all of those things. Absolutely. Because when we get all of this energy out of our system, when we clear it, when we release it, when we get the attachments off, we clear our energy, everything in your reality starts to flow differently. You feel more balanced and aligned. You can make decisions with clarity and ease. You become more magnetic. So things just unfold easier. You start aligning with higher timelines instead of the ones that are more challenging. Um, Things just unfold in your reality easier. So it's important to do this clearing work, and you can do it in a variety of ways through hypnosis sessions, of course, energy clearing sessions. You can do it on your own through meditation and just connecting with your team. Sometimes that's not as easy because we don't always trust ourselves. It's almost like we trust somebody else to do it sometimes more than we trust ourselves and believe that we can heal ourselves. But let me tell you something, you are always the one that is the healer when you come to any session. Yes, you have someone guiding the session and maybe bringing in energy and channeling that energy, but really you are in full control of your healing. And you can either be open to that and allowing, or sometimes we can block that healing if we're not so sure, we're not trusting. But you are a powerful healer. And what I'm starting to see with this field command work, and I'm going to tell you more about that in just a moment, but I'm learning that as we ascend and as we shift into higher timelines, we are going to learn how to take more control over our healing, our clearing, getting rid of what's no longer serving us, getting rid of things that are in other timelines that are still affecting us in this one, clearing up our energy field, and learning how to keep it clear so that things aren't attaching and you're not picking up other people's energy, and you can clear and release all of that. And even learning how to get in our system and work with our organ systems. Your body is its own consciousness system. It's its own field of its own consciousness. You can actually talk to your body. I've had beautiful clients do this in sessions where they have had conversations with different organs and parts of their body. And the parts of their body have spoken back and said, this is what I need for healing. So you can actually connect with and speak with your body. I know you're probably thinking, I don't know how to do that. That's okay. I'm actually going to tell you how in just a moment. But as we move to our higher timelines, this is going to become easier for us. We're going to experience whole new ways of healing. We're not going to need the same type of healing that we need now because of this dense, heavy reality that we're still connected in with. Things are going to become lighter. Our bodies are going to become lighter. We're going to understand more of the field that exists around us, the consciousness of source, because source runs through all things. So that is where this has been leading me, is understanding how to access that field and work within it to clear, but to be able to do it myself. So I don't have to go to someone else to clear me. I don't have to go to someone else to heal me. Not for everything, of course, you still need extra help, but I'm learning how to work within my field to begin sort of repatterning and shifting things within my energetic field in a very easy, simple way. It seems almost too simple, but when you understand how your field works, you're simply giving directives into that field as to what you want to release and what you want to bring in. And this is the power of our words and our authority and our sovereignty as a being of light, as a being of source, as a part of source, a spark of source. So before I go into what this field command library that I have in the Quantum Soul Portal now is, I want to tell you what it does. So your field of consciousness, let's just say, is your soul. And it's sort of the same, but it's a little bit different, but they sort of act one and the same. So let's just say it's your soul. Okay, so your soul field. And you right now, as this physical body, are inside of that soul field. You've probably heard people say your soul's not inside of you, you're inside of your soul. So you are inside your soul, let's just say, and all the other versions and variations of you, your soul that are incarnated, and even the non-incarnated ones, maybe the ones that are just existing as light beings, are all parts of this soul field that makes up the whole of who you are and all of the yous. And every lifetime that you are currently living, have lived, will live, all feed into this same field of consciousness. So everything that all of these yous are doing, experiencing, all the lessons that you're learning, all the wisdom that you're gaining, all the gifts you're activating, all the experiences you are having are being fed into this soul field. Very similar to the Akashic Records. If you want to think about the Akashic Records is a massive database. It's a storage center of data and records of all things in existence that ever was and ever will be. It's all in the records. You can go and access that depending on what you have access to retrieve. But it's a storage center basically of all records and data. Good, bad, all is stored there. Your soul field is very similar, but it's more based on your experiences. And so any experiences that go into your field get stored there, they get recorded. And that is, again, all of the good, beautiful things that you've learned throughout your experiences, but also the things that have been challenging. So maybe lifetimes where you've died in a horrific death, or you've had a terrible trauma happen, or you've part of your soul is fragmented off because of a traumatic experience. Contracts that you have made, vows that you have taken, things that have happened in other lifetimes that you don't even know in this life now, that all goes into your field. Well, your field is not only a receiver of data and records, but it's also a broadcaster because it can broadcast out, hey, in this life, you activated this gift. You were an amazing healer. And so over in this life, now you're starting to become a healer. You can actually connect in and access that lifetime and bring forward those gifts and ability into this lifetime because, again, you're connected to all. So it's all connected. But also the things that have been placed into your soul field that we'll call it a distortion. So something that is not of the highest, it's not a learning, it's not a wisdom, it's not a gift or ability, but it's some distorted energy from a trauma that was never resolved, a contract that was never broken, a vow that was never revoked. All of that sits in your field as well and gets broadcast out. And there are versions of you incarnated that are picking up those signals, and that is playing out in your reality. So I'll give you an example. I had a client a few years ago that had severe knee pain. And she had been to the doctor. She had searched for what was going on, severe knee pain, could not figure it out. She had a life, as we went back in her session, as a slave and was bound behind a cart and a horse being dragged through a desert like space and continued to hit her knees over. And she was a male in that life, over and over and over again, just being pulled down. Can you imagine? That was a hard one. That was a hard one to listen to. But it explained why her knees in this life were still experiencing it. But you have to wonder, why is that? Why do I have to experience something that happened to another version of my soul? Well, because that information, that data, because in the end she had died in that life, so nothing was ever healed or resolved. So all of that information was fed into her soul field and broadcast out because the soul wants that energy resolved. We need to clear it up. We need to balance. The soul always wants balance. So this is an imbalance in your soul field. So it kind of signals out which incarnation can heal it. So there has to be sort of a frequency resonance, a frequency match a little bit for you to pick that up. So maybe something that she's experiencing that's sort of a frequency match, and she picks up that signal, and then it plays out here in this reality. It's insane the way things really work. I think we're going to learn more about that as we go, the way our reality really works, which is so beyond what I think we believe it to be. But once we resolved it in the hypnosis session and we healed it there in that lifetime, it resolved it across all timelines and resolved it for her here. And there's no more pain. So that's amazing that we can do that work. But we have to go find it. And in a hypnosis session, it can be tedious, because you have to go back to a life. You have to figure out, where did this happen and what happened to you and where did it begin and how is it affecting you, and all the questions and all the things. It's like the human mind has to have a story behind it so that we can understand it and then clear and release it. When we're working in the field and we're using command statements or field alignment statements, we are connecting into the field of consciousness. We don't we don't need to know where the issue began, what it's connected to, how it started, who did it. We don't need to know that because we are going directly into the energetic field, into the database, basically into the records, and we're finding the record. We don't even have to know what the record is. We just use the commands. We clear it out. Okay, we're done with that. We're going to go ahead and release that. And then we're going to repattern. We're going to reprogram and we're going to put in what we want, what we now want to experience. The guides have been showing me for a while now to think of your physical body and even our physical system as a computer system. And we talk about this. We run on programs, outdated programs and beliefs. It's like old programs get put in our physical body, and we run them in the background. Sometimes you don't even know they're running. Things that are telling you you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you can't have abundance, you can't have that job, you're whatever is running that constantly runs that does not allow you to fully live the life that you desire. That's a program. Somewhere that program got put into your operating system and it's just running. You may not even know it's there. And so we're running programs that were installed early in this life through our parents, through our belief systems, through our religious upbringing, through our educational systems, things that we were told over and over and over and over and over again. And we just plugged them right into our system as our own beliefs. But it also comes from many other lifetimes where we've taken on other beliefs and we've carried that through. So again, in hypnosis sessions, we're always trying to find out where it began, understand it so we can clear and release it. Because when we get it out of the field, it releases you. It allows your body to heal. It allows your mind to become clear. It allows fear, worry, anxiety to release. You become balanced. You feel better. And that is the ultimate goal of healing, is to feel better, to live a peaceful, joyful, abundant, filled life. So, the field commands library that I have been working with my team on is going to be, and I've already loaded it up pretty well, but it's going to be a massive library of field statement commands or field alignment commands that are going to work at all levels and layers of your existence. So you have a physical body. We are going to work on the physical body. We are going to work on the mental body, the emotional body. We are going to work on your spiritual bodies, your etheric, your auric body. There's all these different layers. You can call them layers. We're going to work at the soul field level. We're going to work at all layers of wherever distortion resides in your field to clear and release it and repattern it with something of a higher vibration, a higher frequency. And not only that, though, we are going to work across all layers of time. So what you update here at whatever layer or level, it doesn't matter. It's going to update across dimensions, timelines, realms, realities, parallel versions of self, your family lineage. What I am starting to understand is we have more control over our physical body, our physical healing, our field, our energetic field, and even our reality than we realize. The problem is we've had so many overlays across time, the beliefs, the programming, all of the things that many of us work to clear and release through session work, through meditations, through energy work, through working with your team, through getting out into nature. There's so many ways of doing this. This to me is the next level, a next level of healing. I'm not going to say the next level of healing because there's going to be many. And I do believe, and I have seen through the people that I've worked with, there are going to be many new modalities that are going to come online because we're going to start understanding how to work with healing in a different way. Healing is going to change the higher we ascend and the closer we get to those newer timelines. It has to change. Our physical bodies, mental and emotional bodies are not operating in the way that they should operate. If we were in our true divine templates, if we were operating in our true divine nature, the way we were originally created by source before distortion, before the manipulations, things would be really different. We would be completely different. We would not be suffering like we do now. So I feel like this library is going to be one of the most pivotal things that I've ever brought into the portal because this gives you control over your own healing. You don't have to wait for me to have a hypnosis session. You don't have to wait for anybody. You can do it yourself. I want to say very clearly, this does not replace traditional methods of healing. It does not replace doctors. It does not mean you don't need a doctor. If you have a problem, you always need to have that looked at. It doesn't replace healing modalities. If you have a lot going on in your system, you need to have someone work with you on that. If you've got a lot of emotional trauma, you need the support of another person. If you have entities and attachments, you need a practitioner who knows how to extract and remove those for you. But there are so many levels and layers that you always say when you're healing, do you ever feel like it never ends? Just when you get through one level, here comes another one, and all of a sudden you're purging again, you're clearing, you're processing, you're releasing, and it feels like I can't get through this. And you're miserable. And we're supposed to be happy and joyful and holding the light and being, in this place, but we're working so hard to try to clear our system. And why are we doing that? Because we're trying to get rid of the density and the things that are holding us down because we're becoming more light. And when the light comes into the body, it tries to push the density out. And this creates an imbalance in your physical body. It can create what we call ascension symptoms. You can feel aches and pains. You can feel very tired. And this doesn't change that either. But what it does is it starts to clear at the deepest levels that you may never get to, even in a hypnosis session. So let me show you what some of these commands look like. So I just want to give you a little, I'm going to be looking down because I'm going to read some of these commands here. This is from my section. So this is physical body work that we're doing. And this is under the emotional and ancestral healing section within the Quantum Soul Portal. This is healing, grief, loss, and heartbreak. So, healing, grief, loss, and heartbreak. So, every section has a little bit of information to help you understand more about it. Each section has 10 field statements or field commands. And before you do this work, I teach you how to get into the right frequency alignment. So you don't just start speaking these statements. I'm sure that they're powerful on their own, but my guides taught me just like we would in a hypnosis session or guided meditation, you want to get yourself into the right relaxed state and open your heart in order for this to be more potent and for you to actually connect in with your field. Also, you're not doing this work alone. You are doing it with your higher self. So, your higher self is assisting you in this work, making sure that everything gets done properly and sort of facilitating the whole experience. So, I teach you how to utilize breath work to get yourself in a balanced state, how to bring in your protections, how to connect to Gaia, open up to source, and then how to bring in your team and how to use an opening invocation to prepare yourself to begin this process. And so once you have moved through that, it's about a 5 to 10 minute process before you work with these statements, then you can begin. And so there's 10 statements. There is additional amplifying statements, and then there is an integration section that allows you to integrate everything that you've done. So once you've done the statements, you want to integrate it into your field and allow that to work. And I will tell you, for me, what I've experienced so far working with them has been nothing short of magic. When I'm done working with the statements, I have so much clarity in my mind. I feel at such peace. I feel calm. I feel centered. Sometimes I feel really motivational. Um, and things that I have sort of put off from doing, all of a sudden, I can just do it. I can get it done. It's been amazing. I've really enjoyed working with them, and I have had quite a bit of emotion come up. So if you hit something, you're going to know it because you're going to have an outburst of emotion. You may feel, I've had some that really feel the energy leaving, and it can be deep. It can be lodged deep within the physical body, the fascia, the tissues, the muscle, connected to all sorts of things. And we see that in hypnosis sessions as well. So this is operating in a very similar way as the work that we do in a hypnosis session. I have had someone who has been sort of struggling with their channeling. And just after one time using the statements, the channeling opened right up and the intuition is on point and it is coming in like crazy. And they are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So, depending on what you're holding on with your field, literally just from using these statements, you can open that right up. But I'll read you a few of these. This is under the healing grief, loss, and heartbreak section. So the first command is the heart healing command. And the purpose of this is it begins the release of deep grief and heartbreak, preparing the heart for renewal. And so the statement is simple and it sounds simple, but I'll say this. I said this to my team. I said, these are so simple. And they said, well, first of all, it's the human that makes everything more challenging. And I was like, yeah, you're right. We make everything more difficult. They said, when you're working at the field level, the field does not care about the words, it cares about the directive. You are directing your field what you want to release and what you want to put in its place. So, all of these statements are, there's nothing that you can't see what you're doing. And I love that. Like, you know exactly what you're releasing and exactly what you're bringing forward in. So, there's no confusion there. So the statement is I call forth the gentle release of all grief and heartbreak held within my heart and field. Every shard of sorrow now dissolves into light. My heart restores its natural rhythm of peace and divine connection. So the guides have said when you say these commands, say it with authority, breathe, pause in between statements, trust that your higher self is assisting with locating where this grief and the heartbreak is stored, and you're speaking it. You're saying, I call forth the gentle release of all grief and heartbreak held within my hearts and field. So we're directing exactly where we want to clear and release. And then we are telling your field what it restores to. So my heart restores to its natural rhythm of peace and divine connection. Words are powerful. They say words are spells. That's, you heard spelling. So when we are speaking, they're very powerful. So we are telling our field exactly what we want to experience. So grief transmutation alignment, so transforms grief into higher frequencies of love and wisdom. The statement is, I honor all expressions of grief within me and allow them to transform through love. Every tear becomes light. Every ache becomes understanding. My heart remembers that love is eternal. I have one for cord release and renewal. So it clears cords of attachments to relationships or moments that still hold emotional charge. And the statement is I lovingly release all cords of grief and attachment that no longer serve my highest path. I send and receive light through every connection, freeing all involved into peace and love. There's a heart chakra recalibration, rebalances the heart center after emotional pain. I restore the full coherence of my heart chakra. All collapsed or constricted energy expands into radiant balance. My heart flows with divine love, trust, and openness. These are codes. My team has explained to me, and I've explained it a little bit in the past videos, how our reality and our physical body, our physicality, our emotional, all of the layers are all encoded with source code, source light, source consciousness. There's a variety of ways of looking at it. And we know that we can program our reality through the words that we say when they're negative, and we start that reality begins to reflect that back to us. So what we're doing through these field commands is we are reprogramming our system to operate in a completely different way. And this allows you to start to align to your higher timelines and better experiences because you are literally getting into the system, locating and clearing out where all of these things are stuck, distorted, and need to be cleared and released. So I have some on family lineage clearing, clearing of vows and oaths, mental clarity, focus, higher guide connection, overthinking, looping thoughts, mental mind clutter, clearing anger and resentment and judgment, releasing fear and anxiety, release of stored emotional trauma, nervous system soothing, clearing and restoration, organ recalibration, cellular detoxification and rejuvenation, hormonal balance and endocrine renewal, immune system recalibration and vitality activation. These are just a few. And this is only in the physical body template section. So I have, I'm going to be building out into the system as I go. We're going to have all sorts of multidimensional field commands that help to align you to your gifts, abilities, your higher guidance, your activations of your light body, your Merkaba, your all of the things that make us multidimensional. We are going to work to clear across timelines, lifetimes, vows, contracts, and these are all things that hold distortion. This does not clear your field of any wisdom, guidance, lessons, learning. It does not erase that. It only erases the distortion, and especially the things that are affecting you in this life that you're ready to clear and release. And all of it is guided by your higher self, and all of it is done by you. This is where you take control of your healing. You don't have to wait on anybody to help you. You can just work on your field and work on clearing. Because as I have found out, and if you are a hypnosis practitioner, you probably realize too, the layers and layers and layers of which we hold distorted energy, we hold trauma, we hold trapped emotions, blockages, thought forms, all of our energy systems that get out of balance, it is extensive. And we try sometimes to clear and clear and clear, and it just feels never ending. So, my intention behind this part of the portal is to give you back control of your own healing, to allow you to clear at deeper layers than maybe you ever could have gotten to before, and just to see what does it shift and change in your life? What do you begin to experience? What changes? Because I'll tell you, so much has been changing in my life since I started working with them. And I see that happening to others as well. So I'm very excited to see where this goes. And I feel like it's taking us into just this beautiful new way of learning how to work within our own field. And that is so powerful. We are creator beings. I keep telling us that, right? You're creators. You've got the spark of source within you. Well, if we hold the spark of source, then we can work with that source code. And that's exactly what we're doing. So that is just one of the new additions in the portal. I'm not going to go too deep into the others. I do have a beautiful 40 lesson course called The Path of Awakening. And if you're new to awakening, or maybe you've just started in the last little bit of your experience, this is going to take you through what I feel like are very important parts of your awakening journey from the very beginning, why you go through the things you do, why you experience it, into the healing, why the healing and clearing portion of the awakening journey is so powerful and so necessary. Then we go into understanding your multidimensionality. And then it takes you into your new earth roles and timelines and mission work and what you will experience or what we may experience. I also have a new library called the Lightworkers, or the Lightworkers Academy, not library, it's the Lightworkers Academy. And this is your how to guide for all things awakening. And I love this because it kind of plays off of the Path of Awakening course, but this is your how to guide. So, as a practitioner, I get asked all the time, how do I clear my energy? How do I protect myself? How do I discern between false light information and real information as it's coming in? there's so many how to's. And so this is going to be an ongoing, just kind of like the command library where I build it out each month and offer new information, new content in there. I'm going to be offering new how to, and this is a complete guide to all things awakening, ascension, energy, clearing, healing, um, everything that you need to know. I'll go into that more in another video. I don't want to make this one too long. But if you're curious about the Quantum Soul Portal, you can visit that. I'll leave the link below for you. See what we have to offer. I do have a lower price right now because I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to come in, try it out at a lower price point, see if the new offerings are what support you. If you don't feel that it is supporting you, you can cancel your membership at any time. But check out that new lower price. It is for a limited time. And I didn't even talk about the monthly offerings that I have, which every month I offer guided activations, guided journeys. This is where we work with our galactic teams. We also work with Gaia and Source. We're doing grid work when we do our meditation, so we're spreading our light. It's quite amazing. And we're receiving activations and upgrades and things that we need from our teams of light. I also offer advanced teachings that I channel through to help us understand why we're doing these activations, why they're important, and how they're supporting us as we move towards New Earth. So I promise you the portal will keep you very busy. There is a lot to move through and work with. But I think you're going to love the command library because that is where the transformation really begins, along with the other guided journeys and activations that just make everything that much more powerful. The guide, my intention is just to offer you a complete resource to help you with all layers of your healing, growth, and expansion as we prepare for these new beautiful timelines to anchor in. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, Heather at quantumhealingwithin.com. I'd love to answer. Come join us in the portal. We would love to get to know you. We've got a great community of beautiful, loving souls that would love to support you on your journey. And I can't wait to see you soon. So have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Get out into nature, ground, let go of what's going on in the world, and trust to know that all is unfolding as it should, even when it feels a little chaotic. I'm here to support you in any way that you need. I will talk to you in the next video.